Good morning and happy Wednesday. I'm Andy Ross, one of the pastors at Northminster Church in Tucson, Arizona. Come see us when you have a chance. We would love to welcome you. On this Wednesday, I want to offer a third devotional from the book of Nehemiah. In our schedule of readings for today, we're taken to Nehemiah chapter 13. Nehemiah is the story of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem after it was ransacked, after the people of Israel were exiled. Nehemiah is about restoration. Today's reading in Nehemiah 13 is about some needed internal restoration. Nehemiah comes back from a business trip and discovers that things are in disarray inside the walls. That there's this guy who has taken over one of the worship chambers for himself. And he ditched the vessels of worship, the items, the tools. He really pretty much made a private office for himself. And this was not in accordance with God's will. And so Nehemiah comes back and he puts God's house in order. He asks, "Why is the house of God forsaken? And I gathered them together, set them up in their stations," the appropriate people for the work they do in worship. And then we read that all of Judah brought the tithe of the grain, wine, and oil into the storehouses. And he appointed people as treasurers over the storehouses, the scribes, the worship leaders. Nehemiah cleans house. And one of the ways to restore the house of God was by having people in careful control and encouraging folks to bring their tithes and offerings. One of the things my wife and I enjoy doing, it's a way we can participate in all of the ministries of our church. It's through our regular commitment to offerings. This month of November, we're going to be talking as a church about our offerings, our commitments for financial support in the coming year. And it's interesting for us, when that offering plate is passed in worship, it's always very meaningful part of worship for myself and for my wife to contribute to the offerings. It's also meaningful in this last year during our health crises that we've learned how to bring our offering for God's work digitally through our online. It's off our website, and it's an easy way, even during worship, just to take a quick moment and give our offering as an act of worship. And I also have to say that at our church, we take very seriously the role of our treasurer, the role of our financial stewardship committee, the need for a careful financial review each year. We don't want to get in that situation that Nehemiah was facing of disarray. And so I want to encourage you. How are you contributing to the house of God and the ministries of God? Some of you are elsewhere in the country. You participate at another church. How are you contributing through your regular offerings, your tithe, how you're supporting the ministry of Christ through your financial gifts? They mean so much for the support of ministers, ministry staff members, and the outreach of the local church. The local church, Northminster, we are dependent on the grace of God. We're dependent on faithful gifts and offerings. And so thank you. Let's keep God's house and ministry in good working order because we've been so blessed. God has been so good to us. Happy Wednesday. Lord's blessings to you.